fantastic news today. News that if she follows through with it, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez deserves credit for. Now, what am I talking about? Well, after engaging in a pretty heated exchange with me on X this week, it turns out that my issues and the issues that others have had with AOC's voting record on providing defensive military aid to Israel has led her to change her mind. Now, she still says that she's never voted to provide military weaponry to Israel. Whatever, we'll just let that go. She made a commitment that I think is incredibly important here, and it shows you that pressuring your elected lawmakers works, because this isn't Disneyland and we're not in the Mickey Mouse Club. These are people who signed up to represent the American people. They made promises, and those promises should be carried out. And the voices of the American people, especially those who put you in positions of power, should be listened to. And it appears that that's exactly what happened with AOC. So I'll go to this headline because apparently I wasn't the only one who was concerned about her previous support of sending defensive arms to Israel. So City and State New York reports at DSA Forum, AOC pledges not to vote for any military aid to Israel. And it shows that she previously said she supported sending defensive arms to Israel, which had led some DSA members to oppose endorsing her. So she's seeking the endorsement of New York's DSA chapter. And she was asked some pretty difficult questions, and I commend her on how she handled those questions. So the congressional representative, as they write in City and State, had previously opposed sending offensive weapons to Israel, but had defended the idea of sending defensive weapons, such as the Iron Dome missile defense system. And the point that I had made on the show recently was that I myself previously thought it was okay to provide defensive capabilities to Israel because I don't want to see civilians harmed. But it also is true that money is fungible. And when you provide the defensive military weaponry, well, that opens up more resources for offensive military weaponry. That's how money works. And then on top of that, you have to keep in mind, Israel had a military surplus in 2021. I'm sorry, an economic surplus in 2021, when we were drowning in nearly $29 trillion in debt. And that was the year 2021 when AOC changed her vote from no to defensive weapons for Israel to present after she got a little bit of pressure from Nancy Pelosi on the House floor. So I changed my mind on this issue. I think it's totally okay to say, you know what? I've changed my mind on this issue. Israel can defend itself. Okay, it's a nuclear power. So I give her credit for doing this. So again, to her credit, she listened to her critics. And according to City and State, which did have a partial recording of this virtual meeting for New York's DSA, she has changed her mind. So a member of DSA asked her, if the moment presents itself in Congress, will you commit to voting no for any spending on arms for Israel, including so-called defensive capabilities? And she responds, yes. Fantastic, great. Then there's a follow-up. Okay, and I want you to know that if and when you do vote no, a ton of us have your back. So thank you, added the DSA member whose name was not included in the recording. She responds, I appreciate that, thank you. So I think there's this big misconception that there are people like me who will never give you credit, right? I'm never satisfied, but that's just not true. I apply pressure because I want results. And if you get those results, great. Those results should be celebrated and the lawmaker should be commended for that. That's the way this works. But when you instead serve as a publicist for lawmakers and you treat politics as if it's nothing more than a team sport, it's left versus right, and you should always defend your side no matter what. Or more importantly, when you take the failings of your preferred lawmakers and you justify their failings by putting them up against other lawmakers who are far worse, you're just providing cover and making excuses for the failings of your preferred lawmaker. And guess what? You deserve what you tolerate. So unless you actually apply pressure, unless you build broad coalitions that apply pressure to these lawmakers, they really have no incentive to carry out your best interest. Because remember, they spend a lot of time on Capitol Hill with their colleagues, many of whom are incredibly corrupt, and they apply their own pressure. So if you're not going to compete with that, you're not going to get results. So there's more. I love this. So here's more from what she committed to. So the DSA member also asked her, asked her about whether or not she is willing to make some additional commitments that are really important. According to 3 DSA members who attended the forum, Ocasio-Cortez also said that she will oppose any attempts to enshrine the controversial International Holocaust Remembrance Association definition of anti-Semitism, which labels certain criticism of Israel as anti-Semitic, into law. So she is committed to voting against codifying such a violation of our First Amendment rights and a smear of justified criticism, honestly, of the Israeli government. And again, despite some who think this kind of pressure doesn't work, she'll never get credit for this, she got credit from me. As soon as this news broke, this is what I wrote. Great. This is good. Great, this is good. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at it again because I want people to see it. All right, perfect. Now, all that has to happen is you have to hold her to it. If she breaks those promises, there has to be accountability. It's that simple. It doesn't mean, I'm secretly working against, the left wing of the Congress. It doesn't mean that I secretly hate AOC and I want to see her fail. No, I want to see results. We, the people, deserve results. Promises made should be kept. It's that simple. And you should be wary of anyone in the media who tries to shut you down because you have the audacity to simply ask your lawmakers to fulfill the promises that they made as they were campaigning. It's that easy. Anyway, I love this. Hold people's feet to the fire. It's the only thing I care about at this point, because if you just see politics as a team sport, you are never gonna get what you need and what you want from your party. If you don't hold your own party accountable, and by the way, this goes for the right as well, including the individuals on the right who purported to be anti-war and are now licking Trump's boots as he dragged us into a disastrous war against Iran, which I don't really see an easy way out of. If you're not gonna hold them accountable, if you're not gonna hold the Republican Party accountable for doing exactly what they claimed they were not gonna do, well, then they're gonna keep playing you and you're gonna keep getting played. And honestly, I'm sick of seeing Americans get played.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.